Okay, so in this video, we are going to explore how to build a function to create food piles. Previously, we have built the function setUpNest to build up the nest for the ants. Now, first of all, let's have a look of how this function behaves. We make it slow going, we make it continuous, and we already commented out the setUpNest, so we will only see set up the food right here. Okay, we build up 3 food piles. Let's look into the details. How exactly we build this setup food? So setup food function is right here. The basic idea, as we already seen, is to paint 3 food areas. So we can predict that we will have 3 blocks of code. This is to paint 1 block of food, second block of food, third block of food. But looking into this code, we see ask patch, not patches. And then we give 2 coordinates, x and y coordinates. The value of this x coordinates is max px coordinate, which is the patch coordinates, maximum value, multiply 0.6, and this maximum py coordinates also multiply 0.6. So what is this? X maximum patch coordinates. Let's check it out. Well, it is specific value, which is 35. As we already know from this blackboard, this world, start from the original point to the left, right, up and down, 35 units. So maximum px coordinates is 35. Similarly, the maximum py coordinates is 35 as well. We can easily verify this. 35, that's right. Okay, so we already know this is a constant, and this is help us to identify a particular patch at this particular location. And then we will perform this line of code under the context of this particular patch. So what does this line of code do? The idea is we paint this patch surrounding area with cyan, with the area guided by the distance of 5. So what exactly does this function achieve this? We can look into this function. Right here. So this function does require 2 inputs. One is food area, which we define as 5, we use the value as 5, and the food source color, which is the cyan, sky, and blue. So we already know this function is trying to build a food pile, okay, with the area and with the color. So how exactly it does it? First of all, it asks patches. Remember, above this function executes itself within the context of a single patch. But then within this function, we ask patches again. Okay, this is kind of peculiar, but we need to pay attention to this. Okay, so we ask patches again. We're looking for specific patches. That is, the distance of myself should be less than food area. Food area, we remember, is number 5. So the distance to myself should be smaller than 5. So what is self here? What is self here? We can try to check it out in documents. The self can be turtle, it can be link, it can be a patch. Okay. So what exactly is it? There's an example. Ask turtles and then ask patches. The patches in radius 3 and sets the p color of myself. So the self, each turtle makes a color around itself. So this self is turtles. The color, because the color is a turtle's property, therefore the self must be a turtle. And in our code, this self, what is this self? Can we know what this self is? Is it possible we can put myself here? Will it give me anything? No, it can't give me anything. Because we are in observer. What if we put it to turtle, myself? Okay, it doesn't show anything. So it does not help us. But right here, the self is actually referring to the previous single patch given the coordinates. That is what the self is about. So this line of code actually saying that under that single patch context, we are looking for other patches whose distance to the current patch is within 5 units of distance. So this is what this code means. And then when we locate all those patches match this condition, we're going to set every single patch matching this condition, their food property to be 2, and their patch color to be the specified color. In this way, we build up the food pile patches. And the final line of code is actually doing something else. I created a global variable called counterpile, which we already seen before. Right here, it's a global variable. And we set its value to be the number of patches satisfy this condition. The patches satisfying this condition is the patches forming the ant food pile. Okay, so this function, this line of code is counting the number of pile of food. It's actually counting the number of patches forming the pile of food. Okay, so this is what exactly this function do. Now let's come back to setup food. So far we already built one pile of food, and then we build another. The only difference is we choose this patch in a different location, and then build the food area around this patch, as long as the surrounding patches to this patch, the distance is below 5, and then make the color sky. The same thing, we choose a patch at this specific location, and then we choose the surrounding area patches whose distance to this patch is below 5, and we paint those patches to be blue. Okay, so the code is fine. We can run it again. So this one, this is the first pile, second pile, third pile, and we can also trying to right here. We can paint, make it observer. So this line of code say asking us to paint the middle point patch to be red because we build this food area surrounding this middle point. Therefore, if this makes it red, then we are sure this particular patch is the center point, and this area of food is built around this center point with distance of 5.